Hey everyone, so a bit of a rant today. Okay, so I follow a lot of different influencers and different educators in the creative space and the design space. There's so much content out there around price negotiation. I've done a lot of content on price negotiation too. But what really, what really annoys me about all that stuff is look, sorry. Before I start my rant, let me just say that there's always going to be exceptions, okay? So keep that in mind. There's always going to be exceptions, and you're probably going to be going, well, I had a story when I did this. I had a story when I did this. Here's why I needed to negotiate. With that being said, there's so much content around negotiation for designers, for creatives who are selling to other businesses. There's so much stuff around how do I get them to accept my price? Now, look, some situations you're going to have to negotiate. But really, there's two schools of thought with negotiation, right? The first school says, I'm going to negotiate and give my client the best price for them. Now, look, if that means that I don't give them everything they need, that's fine because I'm doing them a favor because, I'm not going to charge them as much. They don't have to pay as much. There's a second school of thought, though, that goes, well, I'm actually doing my clients a favor by giving them the right solution for them. And that may cost them a bit more, that may mean a bigger investment for them. But in the long run, it's going to give them a better outcome for working with me. So those are the two schools of thought. Now, think about that for a sec. What school do you fit into? Are you someone who goes, I'm going to give my clients a discount or negotiate and take some pieces off what I'm going to offer them just so they can afford it? I'm doing them a favor by making something they can afford. Or are you the second school that goes, well, I want to work out what the best solution is to my client, what's going to give them the best result at the end of the day. And even though it's going to cost them a bit more now, in 6 months and a year's time, they're going to have a much better outcome than if I chopped bits and pieces off the scope of the project and just gave them what they can afford right now. See, what you've got to think about is by negotiating and by assuming that you're going to have to negotiate with every single client you meet with, what you're saying is you have all the power, client, you have all the power, and I'm just going to bow down to you, okay? And that really it really annoys me. I'm sorry, I'm not going to say the F word. It really F's me off because what you're doing is you're saying, client, you have all the power, and I will kowtow to you. I'll go, hey, that's cool. I'll give you just what fits your budget. Now, like I said at the start, there's always going to be some exceptions. If it's a smaller business or someone getting started, yes, you're not going to offer them your $10,000 solution or your $5,000 or even your $3,000 solution. But if it's an established business and you know that they need this level of service and not this level of service, why should you expect to negotiate with them? So I think one of the biggest problems that we have when it comes to negotiating, and the reason that most of us need to negotiate, and the reason that most educators in this space teach negotiation is because they don't teach much structure when it comes to actually talking to clients. So I'm going to show you my structure now. So it's not just a rant. This is going to be something for you to learn and take away, and hopefully it's going to help you. So there's two types of call you can have. So there's a structured discovery call, which I'm going to talk about next. But the first type of call is the call that most of us have. Now, when I say discovery call, what I mean is your first interview with a potential client. I used to call it a sales interview, but I think discovery call sounds nicer. Now, if you've never learned how to sell before, most discovery calls can go a bit like this. Hi, how's it? Now, I'm going to learn a little bit about your business. Just some, nuts and bolts stuff. And then maybe I'll say, well, you might need this. And then I'll maybe ask a little bit more. And then maybe around about here is when we might start talking about price. Maybe price here, okay? So maybe, I think you need this, so here's how much it might cost. And then we're going to spend the last few minutes of this call right at the end here. Let's just spend that time negotiating. So I'm going to tell you right now. At about this point here, this is how much it might cost for what I recommend you need. Okay, But look, I'm totally happy to give you all the power now. So you tell me, what do you think you need? What parts of this project do you want to chop off? Okay. So let's say there's 3 parts to it. I can't afford that. That's too much. Let's just have the end piece. I'm just going to have that piece because, look, I'm the client and I know what I need, right? I'm the client. I know my budget, so I know what I need, and I'm going to tell you what I need, and the rest of it, we can do that later maybe, or we can scope that out for the future. It seems to me that this is how a lot of people are teaching designers and creatives how to negotiate. They're saying it's a given, but what I'm really big on is saying, hey, yes, you're going to have to negotiate in some situations, but it shouldn't be a given. You need to switch the frame in your mind. You need to switch your thinking to going, it's not a given that I need to negotiate. What I need to be doing is uncovering and understanding the client more so I can give them a solution that really fits them. And I've talked about this a whole lot, but it really bears repeating. I'm going to give them a solution that's going to give them the best outcome for them. Now, for me, I signed up, I've done heaps of marketing courses in the past. I've spent a load of money on marketing courses. The biggest investment that I've made is I joined a coaching group last year. And you know what? That coaching group is a big investment for me in my business, and it's a monthly fee. But look, if they said to me, hey, it's a lot of money, what can you afford? I'd say, well, I could probably just afford a one-off course, right? And then this company, incidentally, does offer a one-off course, right? And that would have been my monthly fee, but just one payment, and that would have given me one course. But really, I've been in this group for 6 months now, and this group is exactly what I need, and I know, and they knew, that I'm selling me a one-off course, which would be the price of one monthly payment for the ongoing program that they run. It wouldn't give me the same results. So what I'm saying here is if you allow your clients, give them room to negotiate, they'll take it. And they'll say, well, I think I know what's best for me. I know it's best for my budget at least. So let's just work it so it's best for my budget. So if you can read my handwriting, here's what I suggest you do instead. Instead of having this pretty loose framework that we have at the bottom here, what I really want you to be thinking about is how can I really kind of mitigate the risk or mitigate the chance of a client wanting to negotiate the price with me. Now, the way to do that, truly, and like we've been teaching this for so many years, and it really does work. I'm not just shooting smoke up your bum, as they say in New Zealand. The way to do it is by having a structure to what you do, so you've got confidence going into it, and you know that you don't have to negotiate, and it's not something that you need to do. So I've taught this before, but I really want to show you how it relates in terms of negotiation. Because if you do it this way, you're framing the conversation in control, saying, here's how the conversation is going to roll out. I'm going to ask you a bit about what you do. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you do and find out if there's anything we can help with. And then the magic trick of this is you spend all this time here finding problems that the client has that you can solve, right? But it goes one step further than that. It's going, hey, there's problems, but then there's also, what's the size of those problems? And then going, hey, sorry, this is completely crazy writing. That's just how I write. So finding the problems, finding the size of problems, but then going, what are the outcomes we can create? And then finally, what does that mean for your business, right? What's the benefit for your business? If you do it this way, you're building up the size of the problem in your mind. So really, there's only 3 key parts to this. You're going, here's the agenda, here's the discovery part, and then right at the end, here's where I'm going to tell you how much it's going to cost, here's the solution I recommend, and here's why I recommend that solution. Now, there's always going to be time for negotiation. There's always going to be some clients. So here we go, there's part 1, part 2, and part 3. There's always going to be some clients who are going to want to negotiate. But by having more structure to what you do, and really, kind of giving the clients a really clear understanding of why they need you, and why it's important for them to work with you, and a clear understanding of the reasoning behind your decision making. See, if we really are loose in our conversations with clients, they can't see how much thought that we've put into the package or the solution that we want to create for them. So by having a lot more structure, by the end of the conversation, the client is really kind of bought in to you and your ideas, and they've kind of bought into you as a business owner and as a creative. But they've also realized that you've taken time to consider exactly what they need. So when you say, well, I think you need a $5,000 solution, they're going to be more open to it than if you're using the second model here and you go, well, I think it's going to be $5,000 for this brand toolkit or whatever it is that you're trying to sell to them, right? So the big idea from this is, if you want to lower the chance of having to negotiate with clients, if you want to take the power back from your clients and not feel like you're at the mercy of negotiating all the time as a given, which everybody teaches, negotiate. There's a time for negotiation, but what you really want to be thinking is, how do I lower the chance of any negotiation, any objections the client might have? And secondly, am I the type of creative who says, I'm going to sell you the solution that fits your budget and I'm doing you a favor by meeting you at your level? Or are you the type of creative that goes, I'm going to sell you the solution that's right for your business, that may cost you more now, but it's going to create a better outcome for you and get more results for you in the future? Something to think about. I hope that was useful, guys. Rant over. I won't talk about negotiation anymore today. If you're stuck to the end, that's awesome for you, because this is gold. Trust me. Have a good day. Peace out. See you. Oh, by the way, if you want to know more about working with us, I always forget to tell you guys this, but we've got an amazing group called Creative Growth. And the real aim of the group is to get our clients to 10K a month. If that's in 3 months, ideally, but 6 months, that's my main goal, because I think having more structure into what you do and having a process in your creative business, that's what's going to get you there faster than just stumbling and doing bits and bobs where you can and not making anything happen. So if you want to know more about creative growth, just PM me with the words growth and I'll get all the details. So see you guys. Peace out. See you later. Bye.